What up? This is Andy Mineo, and you're at thehomeofhiphop.com. Yeah, so Uncomfortable is my sophomore album. Getting ready to release September 18th. Right after that's released, we're going out on the Uncomfortable tour. So I'll be touring that project with Molly Music and Propaganda. Yeah, it's a big release for me, man. It's an exciting piece. Yeah, that's a good question. I think that's what the album tries to unpack the reason why I'm uncomfortable. But for a lot of reasons, you know what I mean? Even in my personal life, a lot of things have been changing and moving, and my life doesn't make much sense. And, you know, recently this past year I got married. I got engaged and married in a span of 4 months. And so that happened real quick in the middle of my working on my album. You know, just kind of me trying to break out of the boxes that I've been put in. It's been an uncomfortable process, you know, just growing and changing, you know what I mean? Like, people, I think when they're really growing, they're going through uncomfortable situations because they know that it's ultimately for their good, you know? So that's kind of what I'm inviting people into on this album, is to embrace discomfort for the sake of something better. Yeah, so we released Uncomfortable, and that was the first song we showed people. And one of the reasons we wanted to run with that was because we thought it embodied a lot of what the album was about. And it was just really kind of a unique piece. You know, I know I could have put out certain songs that would have fit kind of more the single format, but I really like this piece because it kind of breaks all the conventional rules of a song structure. There's no real chorus. There's no real set length in verse. You know, there's post-choruses, pre-choruses, and stuff like that, but none of it really makes sense. Just kind of an uncomfortable piece of music, but beautiful. And I think that's kind of, you know, a small image of what the full project is like. But we have some of my favorite videographers submitting treatments for that song, and we're going to tell a really dope story. I'm sure it's going to be a very unique piece. I mean, especially coming off of You Can't Stop Me and some of the other big music videos I had. You know, I feel like I want to keep raising the bar in the music video sphere. Video is like one of my favorite things to do in the whole process. You know, I want to eventually get into movies and stuff like that. But you guys, you know, you'll see my Instagram. You'll see I love telling stories on my Instagram and making videos. So, you know, we always going to step the bar up when it comes to the music video game. This is the final season. Every time I get ready to release a project, I release a thing called Saturday Morning Cartoons, and it's 4 episodes leading up to the release of a project. And those 4 episodes document the creative process of me working on the album and kind of what's going on around it. So it gives that sneak peek, that behind the scenes feel, which is something I always loved growing up. You know, like behind the scenes VH1 or behind the music. You know, like letting people into the process. So that's directed by my homeboy Francis Delatorre, and he's a beast. And this is gonna be our final season. We really feel like the third season is the place to stop. It's got a good trajectory. It's told a great story thus far, and you know we don't wanna overkill. You know, we want to step out right at the right time, leave people excited about it still, talking about it, and maybe we'll move on to something else, something different. But it's gonna be by far, hands down, the best season of Saturday Morning Cartoons ever. And you can watch all the other seasons, you know, on YouTube/Andy Mineo. All the seasons are there, and that's where the new seasons are gonna be too. I know they were tight, man. Some people don't want Saturday morning cartoons to go away. It's crazy because, you know, we release them on Saturday at 10 a.m. On the website, and it's crazy to see kind of the community that's happened because of it. People gather around with their cereal, and they're like, "I'm here with my kids, and we're watching it." You know what I mean? It's kind of become an event every year that I do it. But, you know, all good things must come to an end. Well, Saturday Morning Cartoons, I think we're going to put it to bed. And, you know, me and my guy, Francis Delatorre, he's the visual director at Minor League, the company I started. And, you know, we got a million ideas. So it's not going to be the end of us working together and creating dope content. It's just the end of that chapter. So I released a video this week. It was a speechless announcement, and it said, you know, it was me speaking in sign language, and, you know, you got to go watch it and try to figure out what it says. Or go find somebody that speaks sign language and figure it out, because I mean that's part of the discomfort of the promotion is things like this that are really going to cause people to have to go look and dig and search, and it's all leading up to a release of a song that I have, Hear My Heart, which is from my sister. But go check it out, figure it out. That song, Hear My Heart, is from my sister Grace. My sister Grace is deaf, and I made this song in dedication for her, and it's going to be the next single on the album. Well, you know what? I've always been the guy that's said too much, in a sense, like where I trust people easily, and I love sharing what's on my mind, what's on my heart. I'm not the type of person that likes to be secretive, in any sense. Like I really don't have any secrets in my life for real. Like my friends know me all the way. So I've always loved sharing my life, because I feel like even if there's hurt in it, if there's pain in it, that someone else can relate to it and can help them. You know what I mean? And so, when it comes to getting personal on records, it's not a super hard thing for me to do, but I do think it's draining, because when you know that it's going to be super personal, you really want to make sure that you pen it properly so that it's communicated properly. You don't want to miss that opportunity, that moment to connect with somebody. So writing that record for my sister took about 2 years. I worked on another version of that song that didn't come out at all. It was produced by JR, who did Neverland. And, we worked on it. We produced it out. It was a beautiful song, but I was just like, man, this BPM, this tempo really isn't working. Let's switch the whole thing up. And I went a whole new direction with it. So there's a couple versions of this song, but I think we finally landed the right one on this new version of Hear My Heart that's coming out. Yeah, when people listen to Uncomfortable, what I want them to do is, kind of what the vision statement of the record is, which is I want the music on the project to disturb the comfortable and comfort the disturbed. I want the album to be a springboard for conversation for people. I don't think all my music has all the answers, but I think that it is a great place to have meaningful conversations. And that's one thing that I really want to bring to hip-hop that I don't feel like a lot of artists are doing, which is meaningful conversations, really digging into real-life stuff. I feel like there's so much music that is just aimless and meaningless, and we have a good time till we party to it. But I think there's another aspect of life that a lot of artists pass up on hitting on, which is the personal parts, the spiritual parts, the deeply difficult parts, the relational parts. And that's the kind of artist I want to be. Um, the biggest enemy to hip hop is Iggy Azalea. I'm just joking. I'm just kidding. I think some of the biggest enemies, man, are the corporatization of the music. You know what I mean? I think artists, like the best art, always comes from a person who is being authentic, is being them, and they're just speaking from their heart, and they're creating something that they're truly inspired by. Like the art is really something that they love, and that they're putting out of sheer inspiration. And I think what happens is, as we move along in the music business, kind of some of that pureness of creating art is lost in the politics of music. And so I think some of the biggest enemy is of hip hop, or any music for that matter, is the corporatization of it, and turning someone's deeply meaningful and personal creation into something for sale. There's a very difficult balance there to keep that true. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, how do you tell an artist like an Eminem who writes, the Marshall Mathers LP and like those early records, and then you're like, all right, you do it again, do it again, do it again, and then this time do it even in a shorter time frame, and then do it while you're doing all these media days and doing tours and XYZ. It just puts a lot of pressure on artists, and I think artists fall into the trap of just creating music that they know that works or that is very popular at the time, and they stop diving into getting creative and expanding. And I think that's what I was fighting against this album, because I know what works and I got the producers to do it. But for me, I really wanted to create something, special and creative and expand the palettes of the hip hop listener. Last words for the people: embrace the uncomfort, man, and pick up Uncomfortable on September 18th. Check it out.
Since you're an evil, vicious spitter, do you have any plans to enter in that realm of female MCs and battling if the situation is right?
No, I'm actually not. I've had a crazy.
Baby, we got Chance, Vic Mensa. There's a lot of. I say you got a lot of artists. Katie got bands.